So friends, welcome to the second part on this video on the Trident. In the first part, we saw about the company's product and services, its moats and its competitors, and long-term as well as the short-term challenges. In this part, we will talk about the financials of the company, its key ratios, and in the end, we will see is the company worth an investment. So in terms of the financial, let's first talk about the sales. So company's sales is kind of a stagnant from FY17 to FY21. In the previous years, from FY11 to FY11 to FY16, company is able to register a good amount of growth. But in FY19, the company's sales was around 5,200 crores, and it has come down to 4,700 in FY20, and it has come down to 4,500 in FY21. And the major reason of revenue degrowth in FY20 was there was an economic slowdown in India, and it got further aggravated as a part of the COVID-led pandemic. So if you see, the company's revenue has been degrown from FY19 to FY21. The company's export contribution has increased. So it was around 58% in FY19 and it is now around 67% in FY21. Let's talk about the operating profit margin. On the same lines of revenue, operating profit margin is also kind of a stagnant, and it has also degrown from FY19 to FY21. It was around 1,000 crores in FY19 with the operating margin of 19.4%, whereas in FY21 it has come down to 8 to 7 crores with the operating margin of around 18%. So again, there is a degrowth. And as I stated, the reasons is economic slowdown, COVID-led pandemic, which impacted a lot of business disruptions for Trident as well. Let's talk about the net profit. Net profit margin is improved in FY21. So it is around 7.6% in FY21, which was around 7% in FY19 and 7.2% in FY20. And again, tracking the trend for revenue and operating profit, the net profit is also a stagnant one. Let's talk about the debt situation of the company and debt to equity. So if you see, company has a debt of around 2,700 crores in FY17, and it has come down to 1,400 crores in FY21. And debt to equity ratio, which is one of the key parameter to assess the company, has come down from 1 to around 0.4. So 0.4 is a decent debt to equity ratio. In terms of ROE, the company's ROE again come down from 18% in FY17 to around 13% in FY21. So ROE is also getting impacted, and because of the slowdowns, because of the disruptions to the company, ROE is also impacting. So 13% ROE is not, I will not say it's a very good number. It's a kind of a decent number. If any company is able to maintain an ROE above 15%, we can say it's a good number. But 13%, it's okay number. It's a decent number. Let's talk about the key ratios. The company's current market price is around 16 rupees. Market cap is around 8,000 crores. So this is a small to mid cap segment company. Current PE is 26.7 and its 5-year median PE is 11. So its current PE is almost double to its 5-year median PE. Industry PE is 21. So again, company is commanding a premium over the industry PE. Its PEG around 1.12 for last 5 years. A PEG, if it is a less than 1, then it indicates that the company is undervalued. If it is around 1 to 1.5, we can say that it's a fairly valued company, if not overvalued company. The receivable days are 36. These are again increased from 27 in FY20 to 36 in FY21, and that is again because of the pandemic-led disruptions, right? The receivables might have increased, or the company might have to give concession to its customers with a longer credit period. The 5-year stock price CAGR is 26%. This is an exceptional growth. 26% CAGR is definitely an exceptional growth. So friends, promoter holding is around 73%. Friends, in last 6 to 8 quarters, promoters are continuously increase their holding in the company. It was around 67, 68 percentage around 8 quarters back, which is now increased to 73%. Promoters increasing their shareholding in the company is always good sign. It means that promoters are confident about the growth of the company, about the prospects of the company, and that is why they are purchasing the shares of the company. And promoter pledge is a 0%, which is again a very good sign. 73% promoter holding, a significant amount of promoter holding, increase in the promoter holding in last 8 quarters, and a 0 promoter pledge. These are good aspects from the overall future of the company. The company's operating margin is around 8%, net profit margin is around 8, company's operating margin is around 18%, and the net profit margin is around 8%. So these are decent numbers. Debt to equity is 0.46, which is again a good number. Return on equity 10-11%. As I said, this is kind of a decent number, not very good number as such. And the dividend yield is 2.25%. So this is again a very good this is again a very good thing. Company's dividend yield is around 2.25%. So these are on the key ratios of the company. Now let's do the qualitative analysis of the company. Does the company have an identifiable consumer monopoly? Company is one of the leading manufacturers in the home textile segment. It is one of the top 5 giant in the world when it comes to terry towel manufacturing and selling. But we cannot say that it has still a consumer monopoly, because this sector is been marked with a lot of competitions within the domestic market across the globe. The company does not have a consumer monopoly, but yes, it has a good brand recall and it has a good, contribution in the segment that it is working upon. Do you understand how it works? Yes, company is in the paper segment as well as in the home textile segment. What is the chance that it will get obsolete or replaced in the next 20 years? It is in a commodity market. Ultimately, the home textile segment or the paper segment is a commodity market. And if the company is not able to implement its Vision 2025 successfully, then there is a chance that company may not be able to retain its dominance, or it may face the revenue degrowth as well as the profit degrowth. So the 2025 company vision is a key monitorable. We need to see when company is talking about diversification, which area it is diversifying. Is the diversification coming via organic growth or inorganic growth? In case of organic growth, if it is doing some acquisitions, then is it a debt-led acquisitions? Does it increase the debt? So all these are the key monitorables that one will have to monitor if he or she wants to invest in the share of the Trident. Does the business have consistent operating history? Yes, company was incorporated in around 1990, and it has operating history of around 30 years. Is the company a conglomerate? No, it is not a conglomerate. Talk about the financial performance. What is the company's earning per share history? Is earning strong and trend upward? So we saw in last 5 years, net profit, operating profit, revenue growth is stagnant. In fact, it has seen a degrowth from FY19 to FY21 due to economic slowdown, due to COVID-led pandemic disruptions. So it is stagnant for last 3 to 5 years. Is company outpacing sales growth with profit growth? No, it is again a stagnant phenomena, as we say. Is company consistently earning a high return on shareholders' equity? Again, ROE is in the range of 11-13%, which is a decent number, but not a very good number. Is company loaded with debt? Company has reduced its debt significantly in last 5 years, and current debt to equity is on 0.4. So this is a decent number. So we can say that company is not loaded with the debt. Does the company have to spend high percent of retained earning to maintain its current operations, or is company capex heavy? To some extent, the answer is yes. Are retained earnings due to be invested in new business or used to repurchase the company share? So we saw that company has a very good dividend history track record, and company's dividend yield is around 2+%. So this is a very good dividend yield. So we can say that yes, company's earnings can be distributed to the shareholders. Is company too free to adjust to prices for inflation? I don't think so, because companies, murky clients are a big clients actually, and definitely they can negotiate with the vendors, and that's why we don't think that company is free to adjust prices for inflation. Is the company stock suffering from market panic, business recession, or individual calamity that is curable? So company's stock went down to almost 3 to 4 rupees in March 20 when the government announced the lockdown. But then from then, current market price of 16, so it has increased almost 4 times. So definitely, yes, there was a panic. Company stock price suffered, but it has recovered all the lost ground, and if in fact, it has grown by almost 4 times over its lows that it saw in during the pandemic in March to June 2020. So, in summary, it is one of the leading home textile manufacturers in the world. It manufactures cotton and terry towels and bed liners. It is one among the top 5 global terry towel giants of the world. It is the largest wheat straw-based paper manufacturer. Work from home is the biggest contributor to the demand revival of the home textile products. Trend expected to continue in FY22 as well. So this is about the summary of the company. Now let's see, is the company a worth investment? I think that is the key question. So we saw it is trading at P of 25 versus 5-year median P of 12. So it is almost commanding 100% premium to its 5-year median. FY21 revenue degrowth happened due to the pandemic. In FY20 also the revenue degrowth happened because of the economic slowdown. Its PEG is above 1, so definitely the stock is not available at definitely the stock is not undervalued. It is probably a fairly valued company, we can say. Question is, will Trident be able to achieve its FY25 vision? It is targeting 25,000 crores of revenue. It is targeting profit margin of 12%. It wants to increase the share in its core business. It wants to diversify itself into new businesses. So these are the various visions that company has outlined as a part of FY25, and it remains the key monitorable. At the current price of rupees 16, I think company does not leave any safety to its intrinsic value. The margin of safety is not there. So if the investors who are already invested in the stock, they can continue to hold the stock, but the people who want to enter into the stock, in my opinion, they should not enter at this point, at this price. They should either wait for some correction, or they should either wait for next next couple of quarters, 3-4 quarters, to see how the company is going about its FY25 vision. And of course, if you want to take the position in the company, you need to do your own research, decide whether you are comfortable to buy this buy the stock at current price, evaluate your financial and risk profile. All the best, friends. Happy investing. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you have liked this video, if you feel that these videos are informative and it is helping you to take a call on companies qualitative and quantitative analysis, then please do like the video. Thanks a lot and have a good day.